So let's look at a little bit of why that's happening. So Meta is laying off a bunch of VR employees, and that has to do with Zuckerberg being wrong, right? He went hard. He went hard in the, I think the metaverse is going to be everything. In fact, didn't he coin that phrase, the metaverse? And that's where the company Meta, the name Meta came from. And now he's got to eat his word. Welcome to Next In. I am joined with my co-host, Shane Chown. There was my pen in his video. Thank you guys for joining. Today, we are going to be talking, everything about hiring trends in 2026, AI, Meta, who knows what we're going to be talking about. We do not have a guest today. Today is a holiday, so a lot of guests are off work today, so too bad. No podcast guest today. So it's just going to be Shane and I. Sorry, guys, that you're stuck listening to him. But I'm going to ask everyone to do me a favor. If you know a founder or an executive in the technology space that has some awesome, specifically in growing teams, hiring trends, etc., we would love to have you guys on the podcast. So please reach out to us. We'd love to have you. We've had people everywhere from Google to Meta to Revalio Bio to you name it. We've had guests from all over the place, Shutterstock, etc. So, and we have, I think, like 5 recordings this week. So it's going to be pretty exciting. 2026 is going to be a great year for the podcast. So we're really excited. So comment, do all those things, share the video. But so Shane, what do you want to talk about today? What's burning on your mind?
Yeah, what I'm thinking about is like, what do we think are going to be 2026 hiring trends? We saw 2025, which for a lot of people was a giant crash and burn, but I know everybody's talking about how excited they are for 2026 and what that's going to look like. So I'm just curious what you think some of the 2026 hiring trends are going to be.
Well, let me ask you, how important do you think I'm not going to call it global economy, because for the most part, we're thinking US, right? That's the clients we work with, at least their engineering teams, or at least some portion of engineering or product are here based in the United States. So what do you think the US economy and the impact that has on hiring, especially in the technology space?
Yeah, the things that come to top of mind to me are just like little things, like are we going to get like Trump and the administration has a lot of these conversations on, are we going to get taxed for outsourcing? Are we going to get taxed for hiring people offshore? And so I have to imagine with some of those like rumors on the horizon, we're going to start seeing people come back to the US. We're going to start seeing some return to office. We're going to start seeing some tax breaks, some tax incentives to get boots on the ground, to get people in more of a hybrid environment. We went, a couple of years where everybody was going remote. I know that's kind of raised a lot of the dollars and like the mental health space, because I think people are just going batshit crazy working remote. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people that end up becoming keyboard warriors, being like, no, Shane, we're doing remote forever. And I just don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a lot of people coming back to office and returning to office.
Well, interestingly enough, for those of you who have followed Next In, dating back to 2021, when we really started doing some of this podcast stuff, our early podcast, which by the way, we're not in a cool recording studio, we had this discussion. What did we think was going to happen with the whole return to office / remote workforce? Do you remember doing that at all?
I do.
What were the predictions we made? I'm curious. I hope someone can come and comment and be like, you guys were wrong.
I said I do when I really mean I think I do.
I'm pretty sure I said this isn't going to last. We will have a return to office. Now, does that age well? I think you can argue, have we done a return to office? A lot of companies have. Amazon and X and...
I guess I predicted a massive hiring boom where we are going to be able to get people into cheaper markets, have more competition, and then it was going to turn into a bubble and explode, which I do think that we're seeing that. I think we're seeing a lot of these companies starting to do massive layoffs. We saw Meta just do a giant layoff. We're likely going to see Netflix do a giant layoff. And we had a lot of people going into the VR space where we're like, we believe that the world is going to adopt this global positioning, and we're starting to see a redaction in that. And I think if anything, Facebook, right? Facebook just implemented this new declaration, not declaration, but they're going more into mixed reality versus virtual reality. So they're going straight up we're going to focus on the hardware. We're going to focus on the glasses. And I think the
Do
1,000
you know
plus
why?
people in VR just got let go.
Yeah. Well, so again, I think a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, they're doing layoffs." This isn't your.
It's not a layoff.
It's not a layoff.
It's a change in strategy. It's a
Yeah.
change in direction, which I hate all the virtuous signaling around. Oh, like they're such an evil company. Like I can't believe they did the layoff. It's like, well, it's just the product shift is different. Like
Yeah.
the expectation is different. The skills are radically different. And for you to just take somebody from what they've been working on for the last 4 years and expecting them to pivot and change their day-to-day rituals because of a new strategy direction, you're
Well,
crazy.
it's no
It's
different
just
than a pharmaceutical company doing a layoff. It's not that they're not making money, but if the drug that team was all selling, developing,
Yeah.
etc., has come off of its patent, then that team unfortunately doesn't add value to the business any longer.
Yeah, like
Therefore,
we're
they
getting
have
rid
to
of
be
Viagra,
removed.
so like the whole team's gone.
We are.
Yeah, they'll just all of them's gone. Just well,
Okay. I don't know why Viagra came up. Why are you looking at me, bro? I got 5 kids. I'm
well,
doing
it's
fine.
the gray hair. It's probably coming up sometime soon.
So let's look at a little bit of why that's happening. So Meta is laying off a bunch of VR employees,
Yep.
and that has to do with Zuckerberg being wrong, right? He went hard. He went hard in the, I think the metaverse is going to be everything. In fact, didn't he coin that phrase, the metaverse? And that's where the company Meta, the name Meta
Yeah.
came from. And
Yeah.
and now he's got to eat his words. But what's happening, what I keep reading about that is happening, is some of the leaders in tech, the Zuckerberg, the Bezos, the Elon Musk, et cetera, have decided the death to the mobile phone. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're reading, but that's what they're saying. They're saying, hey,
The
look,
mobile phone is not the new frontier. Like
it's not.
that is the day of the past. Yeah.
It's going to
Yeah.
be glasses or in Elon's
I mean, it could be the contacts. Like
Well,
it's something where we're interacting with the real
Neuralink.
world.
Neuralink
yeah,
is
yeah.
is Elon, right? He's implanting things in our brain, which is awesome and terrifying at the same time. Black Mirror,
Yeah.
plug for Black Mirror. You should watch
Yeah.
Black Mirror.
It's a terrifying episode.
Terrifying. Multiple episodes kind
One of my
relating
favorite
to that.
though.
It is good. And so they're all saying, hey, let's pivot and let's push into this, whether it's glasses or it's an implant in your brain or it's contact lenses or it's your watch you're listening to everything you're saying in some way, shape, or form.
We do one of these bad boys, pulse check, and it really is just our on-off button.
Yeah. Jeez. So, and that's what they believe we're headed. Now, the CEO of Apple has kind of said, yeah, you guys, sure, maybe not really. And that's far off, right? We're not thinking it's in the next year or two that all of a sudden we're just wearing glasses. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, well, one of the things this has just like always been like a personal thing, right? Something that I've always thought about is like if the world went really, really deep into VR, it's like what would that imply? Like that would imply people being inside of a room, putting something over their face, and like extracting themselves from the world, right? Like we're going full on Matrix, like put a cord in the back of my neck kind of environment. Let's be real, like we need vitamin D. Like I came from Seattle. It was rainy. It was gloomy. It was rainy. It was just great all the time. And then I come to Nashville and there's sunshine and I'm a happier person. If you start putting people plugged up into these machines with like headsets on and that's how they're living their day to day and they're not going outside, they're not seeing the world, you're going to have such a massive group of depressed people. I believe that I know like Facebook has to have, Meta has to have the data that just shows keeping people inside is not good. Get them outside and allow them to interact with the world.
So this got us way off track. I'm
I
not sure.
know,
So
I know.
hiring in 2026, what do we see that looking like in the technology space? And does the broader economy, the Venezuela, right, is a big topic right now. So we're talking about Venezuela, Greenland. How does that impact the technology space? Because if you look, the broader economy, part of why 22 and 23 were really big booms is there was so much capital flowing due to giving away $6 trillion worth of capital, injecting it into our economy, caused inflation and so on. But it also did create a hiring boom. What do you see happening in 2026 because of the global or local economy, not local, but U.S. national economy? Sorry.
It's a weighted question.
That is a
man.
weighted
That is
question.
a weighted question. That's a deep question.
In a lot of ways, it's like, where do you see, in some regards, do you see the stock market, cryptocurrency? Do you see 26 as being a positive year? A lot of people say you're going to get the AI bubble. I don't think so. I think you're going to see a lot of a massive amount of construction of these hyperscalers, these data centers.
I do too. Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of stuff come back into the U.S., which is like, what is that, right? When we think about um, digital real estate, to your point, is all moving towards this cloud-based environment. Everybody's starting to be cloud-based, but I also think that you're going to see a revitalization of the industrial workforce here, like getting people to actually start producing in the U.S.
Yeah.
Manufacturing. I just think that we're at a place where the world saw so many disruptions for so many reasons, and we have to start bringing some of that back to the US. And there are so many private equity companies investing in new layers of automation. We're seeing people age out and retire, and we're starting to see these new founders, these new CEOs come into these legacy plantations, these legacy manufacturers, and we're seeing them revolutionize those using automation functions. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be AI, but it's new ways to automate and to create a cleaner, healthier, more sustainable workforce without it costing a arm and a leg and donating your kidney to do so. But we have to start seeing lower tier jobs in the US to start upskilling.
So what are you seeing right now because, for those of you who don't know, we run a recruiting agency. So we come alongside and help people in the talent side and the hiring side. And Shane, in a lot of ways, is the one who's talking to the clients, and he's on that, the sales side of it and meeting with all of our clientele and so on, sales, and I guess you could call it product side. What are you seeing and what are you hearing from the different either our current clients or future client, that we're in the middle of discussing, coming alongside and helping them in terms of hiring goals and so on?
Yeah, I'd say that there's a lot of companies that have aggressive hiring goals, but the expectations on their goals have radically changed, right? We saw 4 years ago people just hiring, people with big logos, big names, top tier one computer science degrees. Now it's changed. It's no longer are you a good coder? It's no longer are you good at systems design? It's no longer are you just like a really smart, intelligent person? It is in 2026. It's a new age where EQ almost matters more than IQ. Where we're starting to have these coding assistants. We're having these extra kind of to the side developers, and the product person and the engineer are starting to become a lot more technical because of these assistants on the side. But now more than ever, it's like, do I understand the customer, and can I be client facing? EQ right now and talking to these assistants as if they're a person is what's a part of the new software development lifecycle. So communication skills, especially with these assistants, especially with things like Whisper and these more vocal based, word based, NLP based systems, this natural language understanding, using voice to tell the machine how to interact with systems and to ship and develop code is what's starting to happen. These life cycles are getting smaller. These expectations for delivery are becoming higher, but the communication skills, whether it's with the computer, the chat agents, or with the customers, being client facing and improving your EQ and improving your communication skills is at an all time high.
Interesting. I'm seeing a real big high of going from a company standpoint of delivering value. It's all about now. It's
Yes.
do we solve a problem and a pain point for a customer versus this is what we want to build, right? And so we see it from even from one of the guys we had on the show with Doctronic, right? This idea of going, there is a big problem we have in the US from healthcare. We're going to use AI to solve it, but it's not just because it's a unique idea. It is solving a major problem and pain point that we have, and therefore they've received a massive amount of funding from an incredible VC, Lightspeed, and because of that, because they're actually solving very real world problems in a relatively simple. I've actually used it personally now. Pretty simple platform. It's not anything wild and crazy, but it is amazing at how well it solves the problem, and it does it in a matter of it was like 20 minutes, and my wife was able to talk to a live person, actually a live doctor, and be able to get the prescription that she needed and then she got healthy. It was really pretty awesome to see it work because they were solving a very real problem. They were delivering value.
And let's think about that for a second. So you said it made it simple
Yeah.
and it delivered real value,
Yes.
right? And you and I were just talking a moment ago. Is it my birthday? Is that because I did 2? 1, 2? I don't know. I got balloons.
Look at what AI
I don't know why I got
does.
balloons. I got balloons. Okay. I was just about to say about how AI hallucinates and makes mistakes and exaggerates things. And
Happy
somehow,
birthday.
I don't know what I just did, but that was an exaggeration of the point which I was about to make. So just a moment ago, you and I were talking about how I like to delegate tasks and I like to not necessarily build my own templates and I don't like to build my own documents. And when you and I are prepping for meetings, sometimes like I'll make AI do a lot of the documentation and prepping for me, which I already overcomplicate things sometimes because my head's in the clouds, and AI then doubles down and overcomplicates my overcomplications, right? And you're like, I just wish it was freaking simpler. And unfortunately, like I love AI and I hate AI. And you said something interesting, which was their tool made things simpler.
Yeah, their AI actually simplified it, and
somebody has to be responsible for that, though.
And that's right, and that's what Matt said. Right, the founder was the idea of going, look, doctors come up with 4 likely diagnoses, right? And then if you need to see a doctor, they have a doctor, and it's like it's a very simple, streamlined process. That's why I have been impressed with companies that are delivering value in a simple form. And that's what I think you're going to find in the hiring is what business value does this person bring? How does adding this person to our team add value to the team, because our product has to add value to the client. The nice thing is we are seeing a big push for hiring. You're right. The hiring goals that we keep hearing are moving in an awesome direction, which is really cool. So by the way, plug for Next Level. If anyone needs some hiring help for your big hiring goals, we are happy to help.
Well, the crazy part is there's a massive amount. It's a huge complaint. There's a massive amount of openings out there. Yet a lot of engineers say nobody's hiring. Everybody's lying to me. I don't think they're getting lied to, and I don't think that they were totally. Oh, I'm getting the balloons
Happy
again.
birthday!
It's my birthday. Is it my 6th month? I don't know. Anyway, it's my half year. Why?
I think, again, to your point, that I think the market gets flooded because everything is done fast in AI. And so it's like, well, we'll post job and everyone applies, but people are applying incorrectly. And that's, again, a plug for Next Level. That's why when we work with a client, it's not about, I mean, it's easy. I think everyone who's on the hiring side right now knows you post a job, you will get
2,000 applications
easy in like
24 to 48 hours. Which the part that pisses me off is people are like, 2,000 people applied. Take your role down. It's like, yeah, but out of those 2,000 people that applied, maybe one is even relevant to talk to. The other 1,999,
so I
it's
think
like swipe left.
And again, because of technology, we've over flooded what, this idea of finding the right match has become so over flooded and over complicated. It's probably no different than online dating, right? Like now you post on there that you
get 50 matches in an hour, and you're like, which one do I go on a date with first? You're like, I don't know anything about any of them.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Give up, go to Brazil. That's what I did.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding.
That's definitely one way to do it. So again, I want to hear your guys' comments, everyone out there. What are your hiring goals? What do you see happening in 2026? Do you see a return to office, a more hybrid environment, which I do believe there is? When I say return to office, I think hybrid is going to be the norm, where I think everyone has recognized being in office 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, it's a little bit unnecessary. At the same time, 0 hours and people are living in the middle of Australia, but they're on a team that's also got someone in Brazil and someone in Europe, and it becomes really difficult to be as efficient as they need to be. So I think you're going to find that hybrid middle ground of going, we understand the benefits of remote and so on. At the same time, we also understand the benefits of being together. But that's me. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear what you guys think of Zuckerberg being wrong about the metaverse, right? Because he was wrong. Let's just say it. He was wrong. And, the nice thing, he was willing to admit it. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their jobs over it. And
he had to take a massive hit.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue taking a massive hit with it.
Yep. Yep. So a lot of cool stuff going on in 2026. We're really excited about where this is going. The nice thing for us internally for our podcast, right? There's a lot of awesome people that we're going to be meeting with. I want you guys to check it out. But again, comment on this one, like it, subscribe. And if you know a founder, or if you are a founder or executive or leadership person, either on the talent side or the technology side, or I guess we'll call it engineering and product side, of an awesome company, we'd love to talk to you and see what your goals and what you see happening in 2026. For everyone else, thanks for joining in, and we will talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.